Hello, I'm David Noton. I'm a Canon Explorer and a landscape photographer. Behind me is Tabletop Mountain in South Africa. Famous view, and I'm here for 10 days to try out a brand new camera. This is a pre-production model of the brand new Canon 5DS, and I've been given the opportunity of being the first landscape photographer in the world to try it out. Really, the whole point of the shoot was to show the capabilities of the new Canon EOS 5DS, in particular in a landscape environment. That is my specialization, and so it was a tremendous privilege to be given this opportunity to go to South Africa and produce a set of pictures which shows the capabilities and the quality available from this new camera. I was intrigued. I had an open mind. For 3 years I've been using the 5DS's stablemate, the 5D Mark III, and I've become very, very familiar with the capabilities of that camera. This camera is very similar to the 5D Mark III, apart from one crucial aspect. It's got a 50 megapixel high-resolution sensor. So now is an opportunity to see what this huge sensor, not in physical size, but in terms of pixel count, this 50 megapixel sensor in the 5DS was capable of. The first thing you notice is, as soon as you zoom in, the level of detail there is absolutely incredible. Absolutely phenomenal. If I enlarge one of these images from the shoot here up to 100%, I'm looking at a tiny section of that image, and yet it's absolutely razor sharp. The more you enlarge the picture, the more you see that level of detail. For my landscape work, I particularly like using these Canon tilt and shift lenses. I found them really good tools for landscape work. I can use the perspective control to keep strong verticals in the frame absolutely parallel with the side of the frame, and the ability to achieve this kind of depth of field that I've got in this shot here by just using a little bit of the tilt function to give me that depth of field rather than stopping down to minimum aperture really enables me to use the lens at its real mid-range aperture sweet spot, and that's why in tandem with the 5DS this incredible quality is achievable. I have to say that the monitor on the back of this camera is beautiful. It's big, it gives this really luscious, bright image of what I'm shooting. It enhances actually the moment of being there at the time, seeing that glowing image on the back of the camera. And I think that is something that Canon really has over its rivals, the quality of the display on the monitor. On top of that, we've got all the information that we need in various other displays, particularly the brightness histogram, the RGB histogram, highlight alerts. All of those things are aids to help us obtain the optimum exposure. And of course, we can zoom in on live view just to check our focus point, check our depth of field. My road to the Damascus moment came actually when I was back in my office back in Dorset and I was processing the images. Now, as I was shooting, of course, out in South Africa, I'd back them up onto my laptop every day and have a quick look at the results. But it really wasn't until I came to edit the pictures on my big screen back at base and start really looking into the raw images that I really realized what quality was there. That was quite an eye-opener. This shot here of Pool Bay, late afternoon, early evening, beautiful light sidelighting the scene and big waves crashing in on the headland here. I love the simplicity of this shot. I think the best shots are always the simplest. I like the compositional lines. You've got this very strong diagonal of the wave coming in on the headland here. I've opted with this particular picture to keep a shutter speed that's slow enough at about a second to express some of the motion of the wave, but it's not so slow that the water motion all just fudges into a sort of milky blur. If you zoom in large and look at it, it's got a lovely feel to it. There's energy there, there's motion and incredible clarity as well. And of course, the really nice color contrast between the warmth of the light on the orangish rocks there and the bluey green in the water there. When I heard about this camera from Canon, I did question just how many pixels we need. I have to say, I was skeptical. Do we really need 50 megapixels? And I thought that this super high resolution sensor was overkill. But the proof is in the pudding. And you look at these images up big and there's really no arguing with that. In the past, all we photographers have always had to make this informed decision about how we balance ultimate quality versus the portability of our systems. And for landscape photographers, we have to be able to move over the landscape. The more flexible and the more mobile I am as a photographer, the better the pictures will be. I've always shied away from using large format cameras purely because they are so inflexible, so bulky, so slow. I've used medium format, but now I have to say that the quality that this EOS 5DS is producing is comparable to what I would associate not with medium format, but with large format photography. Ally that with the complete range of the lenses available in the Canon system, then we've got this real nirvana where we have the ability to create quality previously only associated with large format photography, and yet still have this flexibility and portability. And that really is something that changes everything. It will change the way I think about my work and the way I approach it. With a super high resolution camera, I can get amazing quality in a portable DSLR. It's a real liberation.